Hi, I'm Stephen Gibb, and this is Tour Stopped. Some of you may know me from my times with such bands as Crowbar, Black Label Society, Josta, and Saigon Kick, to name a few. Today, I'm going to be talking with touring artists, and we're going to talk about how they're balancing their mental health and wellness, how they're modifying their performing and recording schedules, how they're staying creative, and adjusting to life off of the road. So my panel today is for awesome people. And I'm going to start with the Grammy-winning vocalist and guitarist for Halestorm, Lzzy Hale. Oh, hey, Lzzy.
Oh, hey, bud. Thank you so much for having me. This is absolutely amazing, and I love everybody here. And this is such a wonderful thing that you guys are doing just to create that awareness and show everybody that we're not alone. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. From the UK, we have singer and multi-instrumentalist, Yungblud.
Yo, what's going on? How are ya?
What's up, man?
I'm all right, bro. You ready to rock and roll or what?
We are, brother. We are.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, also joining us is lead singer and guitarist for Against Me, Laura Jane Grace.
Hello. So very good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And lastly, singer, songwriter, and rapper KennyHoopla.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Kenny.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here. Excited to
Awesome. So tell me, what's good right now, guys? How are you guys doing, like, for real?
Bro, it's all a bit weird, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's all a bit strange, I think, is to be the kind of the operative word. I think, like, when you're so used to playing music every day and hearing a crowd scream in your face and kind of basing your life around connection with people every night, and then that gets taken away from you, you kind of start to go a bit mad. And you know what I mean? I think, especially for me, I'm riddled with ADHD, so like a little Dom jumps out of my mouth every night, trashes the house, then jumps back in at night time. You know what I mean? So it's all a bit weird, but I don't know, just trying to stay positive. And you know what I mean? I feel still as connected to my fan base and my family as I've ever been, but it is a bit weird, man. You know what I mean? I just want to like cause some chaos, and now I'm just looking at the walls, watching the paint dry.
I hear you, man. How's everybody else doing sanity-wise?
I'm doing pretty good. I did the math, and I've been in my band for 23 years. Since I was 13. And so, yeah, do the math, everybody. How old is Lzzy today? But I have never, even when we first started out at 13, I at least had like a gig at the bowling alley like twice a month or something. I have never gone this long without a show. And for anybody, you know, watching right now, it's crazy because like what Yungblud was saying, it's your happy place. It's a spot, it's an extension of you. So I've had to really reevaluate who am I without that, you know, and I have to look at myself in a different way. And that can be beautiful in certain ways. I've discovered a lot of things about myself through all of this, but there's still that proverbial hole that can't be filled with anything. And believe me, I've been trying to, you know, replace it with something, but it's irreplaceable. But, you know, just trying to not worry about the things I can't control. You know, I can't change the past. I have no idea what's happening in the future. All I have is right now, and just trying to be creative. So, yeah. I'm with all you guys.
I mean, I feel you on that. Just trying to. I feel like everyone is taking a loss in this, and it sounds super weird, but like that's kind of helped in a sense of like we're all in this together. Every day just kind of feels like a blur. I'm just trying to catch up to myself. Everything is weird. I feel like it's kind of hard for anything to be normal right now, or to just have any kind of like complacency. Just taking everything day by day and just staying grateful for everything that I do have and the people around me, and just trying to use this time to just hone on the fragile parts of me and make those parts stronger. Yeah, just taking it day by day, really.
I think that for myself, this very well might be one long manic episode that I'm in the middle of, but I operate really well in crisis situations, and it kind of centers me. I tend to get into more trouble when there's not like something falling apart. And like Lzzy said, trying to find a place where you're not worrying about the things you can't control is what I've really focused on, which means bringing things down to a real day-by-day basis of survival. And, you know, I've been a touring musician for 20 years. And in ways, like, that was 20 years of wondering, like, when's this all going to go away? You know, like, when's, like, better appreciate every moment, and kind of, like, living with that fear in the back of your head. So to find yourself in a place where it's kind of been taken away from you, but not because of anything you did, you know, not because of any of your failings, not because your record sucked, not because like you lost the ability to perform as a live musician, but because of something totally out of your control, to me, in a way, is almost like calming. And I've found that like mentally falling into it as if that this is something I want is a lot better than trying to fight it. Like, for instance, I love Bob Dylan, right? Bob Dylan took like 7 years off from touring in his late 30s, right? So instead of approaching this as like, oh, geez, I wish I could be out on the road, which I do wish I could be out on the road. But instead of thinking about that daily, I'm kind of trying to think of this more of like, well, this is just that period of time for me where like I need to kind of like woodshed and really work on my craft. And while like my life has been based around a connection with people, like my connection with music wasn't based on live experience to begin with. I started with music listening to records. So that connection of sitting down in front of a record player, I still have that. And that connection like is what I still live for. Being an artist is about being creative. So we're in a situation right now that is asking all of us to be our most creative selves and figure out a way to make this work and a way to make the best of it. So in a lot of ways, it's like rise to the occasion, you know?
100%, man. That's complete. And thinking out of the box. And how can you think out of the box to keep that connection with you? I remember like when this all first started kicking off, I was about to fly to South America to play Lollapalooza in LATAM, and I was like, everything was getting cancelled around me. We were going straight to Asia after that. We were going straight to the UK and then back to Europe and then back to America, and everything was kind of in front of all of our eyes been like cancelled within 2 days. And it's like, what is going on right now? And I think with me and my team, I was like, I got to do a gig, and I got to live stream it, and I got to shout to my family and my fan base that, you know what, no matter, and set the stall early, no matter what happens here, we are going to be connected and we are going to stay together and we're going to uplift each other. Because I think with me, man, with my fan base, like, I'm so close to them on a level that they kind of make me feel like it's all right to be alive and to be myself. So I wasn't about to kind of dip off the face of the earth. I couldn't do that. I was frightened to death of that because, you know what I mean? There's such a mutual understanding and a need and a reassurance every day that we're together and being ourselves and being who we are, and this explosion. So I literally was like, I called my manager, who's literally like my best friend, same age as me. I was like, we have to do a gig. I'm gonna call the Yungblud shows that I want it to be like punk rock Jimmy Kimmel. I'm gonna call all my mates in LA, and we're gonna do it like social distance, and it's gonna be mental. And what was insane was the kind of the way it was received, in a way that everyone was feeling, like, as Kenny said, like, everyone's in the same boat, man. Everyone was feeling that need to just be like, I feel the same as you. I am not alone. I want to be together. I'm going to mosh my head off. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to release my energy, even if it's in my bedroom with my cat. You know what I mean? I don't care. I'm going to smash my bed up, and I'm going to, do you know what I mean, put makeup on. And it was mental, because I announced that, and it started as like an idea in my bedroom. But my fan base blew it up online to a point where 3 days later, I'm in a TV studio with 6 cameramen, 5 meters apart, 2 celebrity guests, and like just this rock and roll show, and everyone's virtually lining up and camping out on the YouTube like thing. And it's just like, I think I would have never done a show like that. It would have never occurred to me to do a show like that in these circumstances. And that's punk as fuck to me, that we have to adapt. And just because the world is kind of saying no, we're going to push against it, and we're going to kind of like just not conform to this pause and to this silence. Like, music is always gonna be a vital part of my life and everybody's life, man, because without it, we're all fucked. So I love how punk everyone is right now, and the fact it's like, do you know what? The world's fucked us, but I don't care. I'm gonna fight for it, and I'm gonna like, I'm gonna do a gig online. I'm gonna mosh in my bedroom. I'm gonna like, you know what I mean? I get in a mosh pit with my mum.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, the thing is that what is the beautiful thing about the situation we're in now? Like, you know, some of you already mentioned, is just kind of, you know, getting back in touch with yourselves, and like, you know, maybe digging deeper into your craft or being more creative, because that really is the name of the game for us. Is like, we all love to be creative. I mean, I love sitting in the studio. I absolutely do. But I don't like it as much when I know I can't play shows. You know, it's kind of like, well, yeah, I like it in here, but I also like to go outside. And, you know, the thing is that for me, I grew up in the music business and going to shows and traveling. So I feel like part of my leg's been cut off or something. It's like, I've always traveled. I've always, performed or seen performances, you know, and on a very deep spiritual level, music is the one thing that connects everybody. We may not all like the same things, but, you know, connection is the most, like, one of the most vital human things. And the way that, you know, as performers, you know, the feelings that we have connecting with our fans, that's unparalleled. And it's, to a greater degree for them, incredibly powerful. And to have that lifeline cut off between everybody, I mean, thank God we have the internet and we have live streaming now, and people in our business, we are doing things ourselves, but there is such a massive, you know, it's not just the band, as we all know. There's so many pieces and people with lives that are a part of putting all of this stuff together for the fans. And, you know, my heart is breaking for all of my friends and family that I've known forever, that, you know, they may not be performers, you know, they're techs or they're lighting guys or they're riggers or whatever. And they're just like, I don't know if I can do anything anymore. And there's no promises to anybody. And I guess, you know, everything's been leveled. The whole playing field has been leveled for everyone. And, I'm sorry, I get a little emotional about this, but, you know, it's heartbreaking to me. You know, it really is, because, you know, we're in the fun business, the happiness business. We bring joy and we connect with people on a visceral, emotional level. And it's one of the most powerful things on the planet. So for it to not be existing, and for there to not be any, you know, end date to this. Like everybody's hoping to go back to work in late 2021. But, you know, there's been this illusion of certainty that we've all lived with for so long that is, there's a comfort in that because, well, we've got plans, you know? And I think it was Chris Rock said the other night on Saturday Night Live, he's like, remember when you used to be able to make plans?
You're right. It's like, don't you just miss that electricity of the day you wake up when you kind of get off the bus and you just walk into the venue and it's like your feet are sticking to the floor because of the lager from the night before, and like, do you know what I mean, everyone's camped outside, and like it's mental to me, bro. Someone tagged me in a video the other day and I was at like Brixton in the UK, Brixton Academy, and I was like, it just didn't feel real to me. I was like, what? You know what I mean? To feel that energy and to see that line and to see the passion, to see the energy. And I was like, that doesn't even feel real to me, bro. Do you know what I mean? It was like, me and Kenny were supposed to play some shows together when? March this year? Do you know what I mean? We're like, Kenny was going to come over to the UK, and like, I'm a massive fan of his music. I love what he's doing for rock and roll, man. And like, especially kind of the new sounds you bring. It's like, to me, like, you sound like Joy Division in 2020. And I was like, I'm mind blown. So I love you. And I was like, I couldn't wait to just get on stage and kind of show him what a UK crowd does, man. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, and that got cancelled, bro. And I was like, no.
I know.
But we're going to get there. We're going to get there, and it's going to be fine. And me and Kenny will be in that crowd, literally going crazy. But it's so funny how unworldly it feels. And the fact that you kind of, my best friend in the whole world is my guitar tech. And he, in the UK right now, everyone's saying anybody who works in the arts you should retrain and reboot. And it's like, what? Wow. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, that is not going to happen. We are going to fight for that because there is a way out. We as the artists have to think of ways to do things out of the box. All people want is all I want and all everyone wants is just energy and passion and emotion, because that's what music's about, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Freedom and just expression. You know what I mean?
I think you still can make plans, you know, Stephen, to speak to that. Like, I think you still can make plans, and I think it's very important to still be making plans. If we're here talking about mental health, like, I'm very self-motivated, but I definitely work best within confines of structure. So even like this Zoom call is something to put on a calendar as like, okay, that's a plan. I'm going for that. I made a record this past summer, and part of that was like getting to a point after sitting on my couch for a month after my tour got canceled of being like, what am I going to do? I was like, I can still do this. I just need to adjust my scope. And that means I got to work here in Chicago. That's where I live. I can't go make some records somewhere else. So I got to make a record here. And I got to make a record quickly. It would be wrong to spend a lot of time and money in a studio right now when you're hearing about everyone being out of work. So working quickly, being practiced going into it were kind of like the key tenets to it. But you can still do that. And then also wanting to make a record because, well, maybe it doesn't like conform to the usual plans that you would have for an album cycle of like, all right, you set it up, you announce the record, you book the tour, you go on the tour, and that's what fuels selling the record or getting people to listen to it. But it still puts people in work by putting out a record right now. It puts a publicist in work. It puts a merch company in work. Most tech people's, I guarantee you, your tech people that were working for you the whole time had a side hustle, whether that was designing t-shirts or who knows what. So supporting them in their side hustles, but just keeping it going. And maybe you have to adjust your scope, just the scale you're doing it on, adjust the amount of money you're spending doing it, but you can still keep going with it. And it's more important than ever to do that right now, even just in a way of stoking out your fans. Like, I think of some of my favorite artists and how joyous I would feel right now if they just out of nowhere came out with this record that maybe wasn't what they were intending to do, or maybe wasn't like what they would usually do, but just was like them making an effort. I was talking about someone with this the other day about like Guns N' Roses, who they never put out records. Like, imagine if Guns N' Roses put out a record right now, just out of the blue. They're like, here's 10 songs. Here's 10 really kick-ass songs, Axl/Duff, and they brought Izzy back too. Like, that would rule, and that would stoke people out. That would be good news in the world. So I really think it's about bringing good news into the world and about keeping it going, but figuring out how to do it on a different scale and a different scope.
100%.
That's really, really great. And I just want to say real quick, that next show that any of us get to play, whatever it is, that next big show where we're actually in front of people and everybody, you know, is close to each other, it's going to be amazing. I just know that.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick, because that's important. If we're really talking about how like everything's fucked here and we want to make it better, if the idea is that none of us are touring right now and eventually we can tour and then everyone is going to try and tour at once, then the market will be completely flooded, and then it's going to be just as much pandemonium and it still won't be good. So like figuring out a strategic way through this and a strategic way out of this to support the community that we have spent so long building that is collapsing around us, like that takes an effort, and it takes a really focused effort and a smart effort with forward thinking.
Yeah. That's why we have our teams to figure that stuff out, because we shouldn't be worried about that too much.
Bro, I was like, yeah, it is so interesting, bro. When we all walk out on stage, everyone's gonna be like, everyone just cry, get it out right now. Everyone just cry your eyes out, get it out, because now we go crazy.
Yeah.
But you are right, like Laura, that's such a like mad point about kind of everyone is going to be going at once. That's why like every day, like all of us have to be on it and going like, okay, cool. As soon as something new happens, like, dude, something over here, like even with like theater and things, like I heard a rumor that people are going to try and get quick tests, and people test people in the lines, so you have to turn up a bit earlier and crazy stuff like that, which is absolutely mental to fathom. But at the end of the day, like anything that can get me in a venue, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? I'm just like, all of us need to be exactly like forward thinking and be like, how the hell can every one of us get back on a road? Because everyone needs it.
Well, in my opinion, and some things that we've been talking about lately about that, you know, to your point, Laura, is the beautiful thing about it when all of this opens back up is that what we've seen just in like the rock community, and like there's been a lot of bands that used to be like all about themselves, and now they're like, well, when we come out, we're going to have to like bring all of our friends. You're going to see a lot more, you know, multi-band bills. It's not going to be, and maybe it's not the venues that you know we're all used to playing, and so we all have to kind of prioritize what's important. And you know, any petty differences or like weird competition, like, which we've never been that way anyway. I don't understand why music has to be a competition, but I know a lot of bands that are like that. All of that is out the window. You know, all of those strange, or like, oh, you know, there's not you know, my meal and catering, like who cares? You know, it's like all of that stuff has to go away. And I think that we're priming to do that. So the beautiful thing is I feel like we're going to have this feeling of togetherness, and also just not taking it for granted. Like, I don't care if I'm busy and I'm tired, you know, I'm just going to enjoy music, and I'm going to enjoy hanging with my friends. And if, you know, we have a bunch of people on the bill and like, hey, let's do some collaborations. You know, I've been on like 10 collaborations this year just via, you know, the internet, and it's been awesome. I feel like I've met so many people that I can't wait to embrace, you know, for real, you know, you guys included. Like, I can't wait to give you all hugs when we see each other on the road.
And Kenny, you were doing something crazy the other night. You put on your story. Were you in with Jesse Rutherford?
Yeah. I just.
Whoa, bro, I can't wait to hear that collab. That's gonna be mental.
Yeah, he just hopped on this song I had. It's called Lost Cause. He like did a remix to it.
Love that tune.
It's all good, guys. We've got a video coming up here that well, most of you probably have been a fan of it, attended or even toured on the Vans Warped Tour. So at some point in your career, I'd imagine. And we have our friend Kevin Lyman to share some important information about MusiCares real quick.
Kevin.
And here it is.
Hello, my name is Kevin Lyman. Today's program is in partnership with MusiCares, the Recording Academy's charity organization that provides assistance to the professional music community, from singer to songwriters to managers to crew. If you aren't familiar, MusiCares provides a safety net of critical assistance for music people in times of need. MusiCares services and resources cover a wide range of financial, medical, and personal emergencies, and each case is treated with integrity and confidentiality. This year, with the coronavirus pandemic, MusiCares has been vital to our community's survival. To date, since the COVID Relief Fund was launched in mid-March, MusiCares has assisted 19,000 music people and dispersed over $19 million. Paying for a month's rent, helping to fix a broken instrument, getting you a doctor's appointment if you're uninsured, having someone to talk to about your addiction and options for rehab, and getting to rehab via MusiCares grant. Cyber support groups have also been formed, since we can't meet in person, to get that support. If you or someone you know needs assistance, please don't hesitate to contact MusiCares.org. Check it out online, MusiCares.org. They are there for you.
Thanks, Kevin. So guys, what are you doing to stay sane? I mean, what's like anything out of the box, maybe not music related even? Like, how are you handling your mental health?
Nah, I think to be honest, I've been creating as much as I possibly can. Like I've been like writing a comic. I've been kind of developing TV things. But mostly, as I say, like just connecting to my fan base every day. Like luckily, like I love being online. I love being on social media. I love kind of the way I look at a lot of artists right now, and people are absolutely killing it on social media and connecting to people. Because at the end of the day, like I was having such a crazy conversation with someone the other night. Like that's our stage now. That is the way you stand on stage and sing to people, is through social media right now, because there is no stages open. And I don't know. I just love it. And I think, to be honest, staying sane is that constant contact and that constant connection. That's why I'm literally online. I literally wake up every day and I'm just like, I can't wait to hear the stories, and then just kind of use the stories I hear to create from. You know what I mean? I think that's sick, man.
The way I've been coping, I've been taking a lot of really long hot baths and using a variety of Epsom salts and apple cider vinegar, great for the skin. And I've been reading a lot of books, and then I've been going running every morning, doing at least like 4 miles or so, just to still like not being able to get sweaty on stage every night. I still need like an aerobic exercise every day to have that kind of same sensation of being drenched with sweat. And then I've also like, because I'm home, I've been getting a lot of house plants, like specifically a lot of house plants that like are really oxygen giving. Just like I've become obsessed with the idea of like, I just want all this pure oxygen to be breathing all the time. Surround me with snake plants while I sleep. And then focusing on the small things I can control. Like if I'm drinking too much coffee, being like, I'll take a day off of coffee, or like not smoking so much cannabis, whatever.
Something for me, and I am totally with you, Laura, about the plants. I have like an herb garden, like indoor herb garden that I've started to talk to now, which I don't know if that's a sign.
That's so sick,
right? It's great, but
hello tomatoes. Woo!
You need one, Yungblud. Literally, the basil I think talks back. But I've been doing a lot of free writing. Obviously, I'm writing a record right now. So there's a lot of creativity, and there's a lot of risk taking that I'm able to do because there's nobody breathing down my neck, and there's, the label doesn't care, and neither does they're like, yeah, sure, just do your thing. And so I've been creating a lot. I also need that sweat, and I was again, like I don't know. I don't know if I could have planned for this better, but I got a Peloton like last Christmas, right? And so I'm like literally just I have to exercise every day. And I used to not like exercise. I used to hate it. But now I need it because, like you, I just need it. It really does help with the mental clarity, and it makes you feel accomplished, like you did something. I've been putting myself on a schedule, even if there isn't something going on. I live and die by my alarms and my schedule, and keep myself busy, like I'm going to work. And also just I don't know. I've been doing a lot of different projects, and again, I've been figuring out a lot that I can do just me, not me even related to my band. It's I started a show, an online show that I had been doing practically since the beginning of the pandemic. I took a couple weeks off here from that, just so I could get creative again musically and have more time for that. I'm hosting a TV show every week. So many opportunities, you know, and not to be Miss Positivity here, but so many opportunities have fallen into my lap, and these little moments where I get to say yes to adventure that if I was on tour, because we're out like 250 days a year, if I was on tour, I would never be able to do. So I'm focusing I'm in therapy this year for the first time, which is amazing. And you know, yeah, right. It's been the best act of self-love that I've given myself. It's just such a gift, because I'm able to kind of retrain my brain to, you know, in a couple things. And I've given up some bad habits. I've also gained more. So it's like balance is everything. But yeah, it's I think we're gonna get through this, you know. And I went through a whole period of time in the beginning where I was like, I don't know what life is. I don't know who am I? Like, who am I without the stage? Who am I without this? Who am I without that? Then you have to remember that as musicians, like back in the day when we first started playing or singing or being creative, we adapt. We adapted all the time. We've been adapting throughout our entire careers. So we're going to adapt to this. We wouldn't be musicians if we couldn't evolve and adapt and rise above. So yeah, we're going to be good. And something that Yungblud had said earlier about the fan base, they've been such an amazing part of my life, and they always were. But I woke up the other morning, because I've been trying to kind of just put that positivity out there. And I woke up the other morning to just everybody in my Twitter feed kind of blowing up, and they all decided to just, I don't know, put me in a meme or something and just remind me that, hey, you're always here for us. We're here for you. If you need to vent to us, even though it's on a public forum, like, you do that, and we're here to listen. And I got so emotional about that, because they just were reaching out in such a massive way. So
that's so sick.
Yeah.
So. Ain't that, I love that. That's so sick.
Didn't you just have a birthday? I think I saw people blowing you up for your birthday.
I did.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
That was a weird thing too, because it wasn't until like a week out where I'm like, oh yeah, it's October, my birthday's coming out, and then I'm like, well, what do I do? And like we went back and forth, like me and my significant other went back and forth, like, well, what do we do? Well, I'm like, well, no matter what, I want pizza. So we ended up getting pizza and having some wine. So it was a very chill birthday, but yeah, you adapt.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Halloween's gonna suck this, but I don't even want to get into that. But
10 p.m. curfews in the UK, like legitimately, like nobody out past 10 p.m.
Oh wow,
dude, so that's crazy. So Halloween's gonna be no one's gonna be trick or treating or anything like that.
You know, it's one of the things that I thought I used to do that it turns out I wasn't really very good at, that now I'm getting pretty good at during all this stuff, is meditation. And it's something I would always hear people talk about, like, oh, you got to do it, man. Oh, it's amazing. It's better than drugs. It's better than this. And I'd be like, that's not what's happening when I do it. I'm sorry. I don't know what drugs you were taking, but it's not my experience. And I've been meditating an hour or two a day for the last 2 months, and it has completely changed my life. And now I'm that guy that says it's completely changed my life and I'm so much better now. But it's true. It's been great. I can't say enough about it. Kenny, what have you been doing to stay sane?
Honestly, I can't ever recall myself being sane. I feel like I'm either on a super high or it's either super low. It's like never really in between. But I think not sane, but it's been like distractions. Constantly trying to distract myself. A lot of times I just feel like too conscious and aware and just I'm always like seeing from every perspective. So like nothing is ever like the right answer. But I think what's been helping is what drives me, which I feel like is like love. Having time to be able to just, elaborate on my love for everyone in my life and loving myself, whether that's, guess just like skating or just pulling up like on my friends and just kicking it, just like putting out love as much as I can and like continuing to give myself to the universe. And I feel like when you give yourself to the universe, it always will like return. I've just been trying to, I guess, just keep being as human as I am, and I guess not running from that. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that. It's literally like the neighbours hate us. I live with my guitar player and my best mate. We're literally just like jamming and playing music till like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like knocking on the door, being like, turn it down. I'm like, what have you got to get? No one's got to get up for anything tomorrow. So I mean, it's like, do you know what I mean? It's terrible. I was like, wake up the neighbours, man.
Yeah. Like someone close to me in my life was saying, they were like, I don't know, we were just having a conversation, I think, about like possibly mental health or just existentialism. I don't even know how to like pronounce that correctly, but it came to this conclusion to where I think you just have to like experience and learn, I guess, how to experience. But in that same sense, there's no way to do it. You just have to like let everything be and just stay to your values as much as you can. But I feel like that's not really hard. I feel like also when you're an artist, because your job is kind of to be authentic in a sense and like your true self. So yeah, not sure what I'm getting at now. I'm talking too much, but yeah, I don't know.
No, I get that. I get that. Isn't it interesting, man, when you kind of sit down and you have silence for the first time?
Yeah.
You actually think.
Yeah.
Right now in the world, it's like, yo, everyone's telling you what to do. And you're just like, hang on a second, I need a second to think. And people look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
When you think about things and you address things, and I think that's what's insane, what's happening with the world right now, especially like my generation and like our generation. It's like we genuinely have taken a stand against what is wrong with the world right now in terms of racial inequalities, like in terms of inequalities with the LGBTQ plus community, in terms of climate change denial, everything, bro. It's like everybody is. It's had a second to go, hang on a second, a lot of shit is fucked up right now and we need to address it. So by the time we come out of this, we can be a little bit better.
Yeah, it's really like, I don't even want to say a blessing in disguise because it's like a horrible thing, but it's definitely like hit that peak that we really needed, where if this wasn't a thing, like who knows how worse.
Yeah, bro, it could have been crazy. That's what I was saying. You know what I mean? It's like, it's absolutely like unfathomable what is happening to us. But I think like genuinely the world was like, yo, you all need to fucking check yourselves a little bit, because we were not, like, you know what I mean? I was like, not good, and everyone's kind of at home online reading up about shit on how to be better, and that's fucking amazing.
Fire.
I think we're going to get some great art out of this for sure this year.
100%.
As much as we want to forget it, we won't be able to. But I think I'm going to schedule in a Epsom salt bath for the night. Anyway, so guys, we have actually a surprise right here. We have the vocalist and guitarist for L7, Donita Sparks, is going to join us.
Hey, Manfred!
Whoa! Hang tight, everybody.
Whoa!
How's it going?
All right, how are you?
Fabulous. Nice to meet some of you. And hi, Lzzy.
Hi, Donita. Great to see your face again.
Good to see you too. Okay, so listen, I don't know if I'm a guest or I'm a Zoom bomb. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out, but I do have a question, and it's a two-part question, and I guess I'm supposed to answer it first. So, oh wait, but two comments really quickly. Laura, I am also a plant lady, and I'm a complete over-nurturer, and I'm over-watering. And Lzzy, I recently bought a mini trampoline and threw out my back.
Oh.
This was just last month. So anyway, the Epsom salts are helping. Okay, my question for this fabulous panel is, what are you doing without your tour families? And I'm going to answer that with, I really miss my tour families, because I always feel very invincible, because I know they always have my back, my band and my crew, and I always have their back. And I'm kind of a loner person. So when I'm on the road, I just feel very much like a gang. And it forces me to interact in very tight quarters with other people. And it's taught me a lot, just about being as patient as possible and as tolerant as possible of others. And so I do miss that. And the second part of my question is, what else do you miss from the road? And what I miss the most probably is walking into a really old venue with a creaky wooden stage. And I always like to get some info on what artists have played there before, because I like to summon the ghosts. And it's like, oh my God, Duke Ellington played here, you know, or like, oh my God, the Mamas and the Papas sang here. Or, so it's always just very, I like to check into that kind of channeling connection, because it always kind of helps me during a live show in particular. And I also miss when the band's sounding loud and tight and in tune, and it just sounds really fucking great. And the audience is giving back as much as we're giving, and it's just a really cool spiritual experience. Okay.
Yeah, man. I love your energy, man. You make me feel like I'm on fucking stage right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Can everybody shout? Just shout on Ford. Do you want to shout? I want to fucking shout.
Do it! You guys
Yeah! Yeah!
work the hands too. It works.
I fucking miss that shit, man. I just want to shout.
Okay. Am I shouting? I'm just kind of a loud person.
Yeah, I'm so am I, man. I fucking love it. I'm just like, I'm into it. I love your tooth as well. That's so sick.
Thank you, darling.
That's so fucking cool.
Okay, so it's a two-parter question. What are you doing without your tour families, and what else do you miss from the road? So I don't know who wants to answer first, but
Kenny, jump in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely the unity, like really what you were saying, and yeah, that feeling of, guess like more the spirituality of it, and just feeling the true essence of unity and everyone around you, just feeling the connection. I feel like it's a different kind of connection than, I guess, in not doing that, I guess. Just like hanging out in general. What I miss the most is definitely like the energy, the more than life, not physical, almost like magical energy of like the whole venue, like coming to one, and kind of just that outer body feeling, that high you get. I really, really, really miss that. That's definitely my favorite though, is that high.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just miss every day. I just miss waking up and the whole process of kind of being in a different place and seeing the line and talking to my family and talking to my fan base and getting on stage, going mental. My best mates letting it out there, seeing them after the show, talking to them after the show, and just like, do you know what I mean? It's just like that literal thing of when I walk in and the sound check's happening. And my text, like, we are crazy. My crew is mental. We just like go crazy. Like, so all my best mates, like all my crew are just my friends from when I was younger. You know what I mean? I said that to myself. I was like, when I find my crew and when I find my band, I've known them my whole life, because we literally are a family. So it's kind of rogue. You know what I mean? Everyone's like skateboarding or playing tunes or drinking lager in the sound check, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's just insanity. And then the crowd come in and they're lined up 2 days before, and I'm talking to them outside when I got off the bus, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. I just miss that sensibility of fuck it, let's just lose our shit together and do something silly tonight.
Totally.
Yeah,
I really do.
Rob, do you know what I mean? No, like, don't you just want to play fucking Bulls on Parade in soundcheck, have a pint of lager and walk on stage and go fucking mental? That's just what I want to do right now. Exactly right now. I just want to go mental.
Bravo. Okay, Laura, you want to take this one?
Sure. You asked, what am I doing without my tour family? And to answer that very simply, I'm feeling lonely. You asked, what do I miss about tour? I miss airport coffees. I miss sleeping in a bus bunk. And I miss being part of a team.
Hell yeah.
All right, Lzzy.
Laura, I am with you about missing the sleeping in a bunk. And I've packed for tour just for something to do. Like, I get real like anal about packing for tour, and I have an OCD bug in my body, and everything needs to like kind of match. And like I miss having, like, I don't know, a travel bag, you know. And but for your first question regarding your the road family, I mean, man, you know, our crew, it's like, you know, our sound guy is like our uncle. It's like everyone's like a literal family member, and these people have seen me at my brightest and my darkest, and they know me better than most of my actual family, except for my little brother who is in my band. So, you know, he can't quite get away from me. But the group text is very much alive. And so we make fun of each other all the time, even over text, and we try to do like the virtual hangs every now and again. And as far as like just things that I just miss everything about being on the road. I miss, you know, waking up, you know, and being in a new town, and especially in the UK and Europe. Like, I love that. I like, you know, I wake up at like the crack of noon and I want to go for a walk, and I want to see, you know, different streets and visit different cultures, and I want to just travel. And like I said, sleeping in the bus bunk. And we also, this, as far as the stage stuff goes, I miss locking in, you know, with my bandmates and riding that wave. We don't use any like clicks or tracks or anything with our stuff, and that's our own choice, for better or worse. But we ended up, before this all stopped, for the past couple of years, we started doing these like jam sessions with each other, live on stage, which is the most beautiful panic, because you all look at each other and you know that you don't really know how you're going to get out of it, but you all have to listen to each other. And when you're all riding that same wave, you know, with just the buds, your bandmates, you know, the people that are just the closest to your heart, and when you're all riding that same wave and you make a moment together that'll never happen again, and it makes the crowd go woo, and it's like I miss all of that. And in fact, we just released this, I don't know if it was just happening, time is elastic, probably a couple weeks ago. We released a video of us when we headlined the second stage at Download last year, and it was videotaped, all that, and we released it, and I literally like cried through half of it, because I'm like, I miss this so much. So yeah, I like we were saying before, we get back out, I'm not taking anything for granted. Not that I did, but it's going to be full bore.
Hey gang, I think I'm signing out, but I'll be listening. And so if you do talk trash on me, I will hear you. So,
I love that.
But thank you so much.
Rock star, man. You're fucking sick.
Right on, baby. And thanks for having me, everybody. And I hope to see you all on the road next year.
Yeah.
Dutch Wub, man.
Everybody vote.
Everybody vote. 100%. 100%.
Done. Already voted. Take care. Thanks so much, Donita. You're awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. We actually have some videos from some of our members telling us what they miss about being on the road. So check this out.
Hey everybody, this is Dave Haywood with Lady A, and I miss the rhythm of the road so much. Getting up in the morning, walking through an amphitheater, seeing the set carps, lighting people, backline techs, production people, all putting together the beautiful staging. They work so hard. I love saying hey to them, catching up with them in the mornings. I miss that so much on the road. Looking forward to being back out there.
What I miss the most about touring is just missing my family, because we're just all here together.
Mom, I'm hungry.
All the time.
No, you got to get the fruity cereal.
Forever. So I can't wait to miss them again. Thanks, bye.
Sure, it can be a hassle flying with instruments and equipment, but it's always worth it when the show happens.
What I miss most about being on tour is being in the middle of a show, probably in the second or third week of a run, when you're kind of tired, but you're just not really thinking about what you're doing anymore. You're not analyzing whether you're doing well or not. You're just kind of like an autopilot in a good way. So you get super connected to the audience and super connected to the music, and it's just an exhilarating feeling, and I miss it a lot.
Getting rest. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, no, I'm not kidding. I do get more rest in my bunk on the tour bus than I do at home. It's just that way. I'm adapted to road life, and I just function better that way. But really, I mean, there's just too much to say. Come on. I miss playing music every night, every day and every night with my brothers. I miss the fans and the energy. I miss traveling and seeing all the beautiful places of the world and meeting all the wonderful people and fans. I miss all of it.
What I miss most about being on tour is my routine. I've been touring since 1956, so this is my first real break.
The thing I miss most about being on the road is the crowd, the live audience.
Sharing the bill with other artists and watching them work their magic, and maybe hitting up an occasional Waffle House.
If you ask me what I miss the most about being out there on the road, it's really the audiences, because to me music is an equation, and without the audiences there's that missing part of it. It doesn't really all sum up to what it's supposed to.
Missing my ship fam and forest fam super hard right now. See you soon on the road, guys.
The thing that I miss the most about being on the road is spending time with my wonderful bandmates.
Hola, les habla Juan Díez desde Chicago. Lo que más extraño de las giras tiene que ser el contacto con la gente. No tiene sustituto.
What I miss most about being on tour would be the experiences.
Being able to meet new people, being able to hang out with people I don't get to see all the time. And yeah, again, bringing up the food, like being able to try new food, and checking out the local businesses, the local record stores.
Eating all the incredible vegan food that each city has to offer.
Hey guys, I'm Gabby from Reina. The thing I miss the most about tour is staring out into a sea of people and seeing strangers singing our songs. It always makes me feel so happy. I can't wait for that feeling again. Stay safe.
Hey, this is Laura Reed from Lore.
Hello, this is Laurie Omits from Lore and Driving and Crying.
And what I miss the most from playing on the road is playing for people, connecting, meet and greets, just getting to meet the people that connect with the music.
Yeah, probably playing in front of a live audience and hearing people actually applaud between songs is a big one for me.
We miss you guys.
I'm BT. I'm an electronic musician and producer and film composer, and what I miss more than anything about being on the road is interacting with fans and getting to play my music that I'm working on in the studio in real time for people, and to see the feedback on their faces and the way they move on a dance floor. So, and getting to stand with people after and sign things and hear their stories. So I'm dying to get back on the road to be with people that appreciate electronic music. So I hope all you guys are hanging in there.
So that was really cool hearing from all of them. That's great. Thanks, everybody. I kind of like a two-part question, but I just want to throw this out there before we start wrapping stuff up. Has there been any specific ways in which the way in which you're creative has changed, as far as like, you're writing, like, you guys, a few of you have talked about, you're working on records and you're actually doing it. Is anything about that whole process different, or is it the same as it ever was?
I think what Laura said was so interesting earlier about kind of like just doing it quickly. Like, do you know when you got time? Do you know what I mean? When you got so much time, you can overthink things. So I think for me, like, I'm just kind of like just doing things I wouldn't do normally, right? Like, for example, I'm kind of going against what would be fucking normal for me. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, let me do something completely different, because right now, what the fuck forgot to lose? You know what I mean? I'm just in a studio and I'm just like, I feel more creatively free and more connected to my fan base than I've ever felt like before. It's kind of weird because I don't know. I'm just like, fuck it. I literally live in my studio. So I'm like, why the fuck not? Do you know what I mean? If I get up and I want to do something that I would never normally do before, and like expand my horizons and do something mental and different and push the boundaries, you know what I mean? Like, what's going to stop me doing that? Because you know what I mean? It's the world's weird. So why the fuck can my creative process not be?
I completely agree. What I've been doing lately has been I've always kind of had this mantra of being very unapologetically myself. It gives me power to try to lead my life that way. But it's funny how that's what I thought I was doing before all of this hit. And now being in my studio and being creative and working, just sitting down, just showing up every single day and not being afraid of failure, not being afraid if it sucks. Like, I don't care, it's like, I'll write something and completely throw it away. It's fine. And not worrying about, what's good for radio? What does the fan base want to hear? What does the label want to hear? Is this me? Whoever that is, like, I just am being. And it's been so awesome to do that. Now, as far as the process goes, I switched it up. I have this downstairs studio, and then I have 2 writing stations upstairs, one by a piano, and then one that is just like super stripped down, very much the way I was when I was a teenager. Just have a guitar and here's a mic, and I just work in Logic up there, and I try to limit myself to about 4 or 5 tracks, and it's become kind of this relay sport, because we used to get together and like jam and kind of work on stuff, you know, every now and again together. And now it's like I'm creating this like basis of a song, and then I pass the baton to my guitar player, and then I pass the baton. So it's a really interesting way of writing. But also, true to what Yungblud said, I'm doing the same thing. I'm pushing the boundaries of my own voice, of the way that I write, the way I approach the instrument. You know, I've been writing some really weird subjects lately that I probably wouldn't have taken the risk if we had had it under a, like, okay, we have to write a record now. And you know, everybody always thinks that the artist should be what they think that they are. And really all we are is us. And so as long as I like it and I think it's fun, I chase after that. And so that's been the beautiful thing about it.
Ain't that so crazy though? Was like, you think like, it's almost like icebreaker. Do you know when you like going to write a record, you got fucking 6 weeks to write a record. You write like an icebreaker version of the album you want to write.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, okay, this is the formula, blah, 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 blah. But like, it's just kind of like, fuck that, man. Rock and roll music is about freedom and expression, and like, and to me, that's what rock and roll means. It ain't just fucking beating the shit out your drum kit. That ain't rock and roll to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like that freedom to just be completely fucking
100%
free. You know what I mean? Like that's what like got me about you, Kenny. Like earlier, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then when I saw your image, I was like, what? You know what I mean? I was like, it's what got me fucking buzzing about it. I was just like, it felt so free to me. And that's, as I say, to me, man, that's what rock and roll means, man. Freedom and no fucking boundaries. And it's kind of sick to have a little bit of time to be like, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go down this route for a couple of days and like see what comes out. And it's interesting when you kind of hate something initially, it's your best fucking tune about.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? You're like, I hate this. This is shit. And then, oh, I love this. After a day, you know what I mean? Isn't that crazy?
That literally happened to me the other day. I wrote this song, and I'm like, this is so weird. This is too weird. It's too, like, I had that thought, and then I showed it to my bandmates. They're like, oh my God, we love it. And I'm like, see, shows how much you know. So you might as well have no fear about it. No fear. No.
That's so sick, though. You know what I mean? Like, bollocks to the fear. You know, like, just express.
I would say to all of us right now that as we're navigating the way forward in the industry, anytime you're having a conversation with someone who says there are no rules now, to be very wary, because there never were any rules to be.
Fucking dude.
Agree with everything.
Bollocks to me. Slap me on the wrist right now, Laura Jane Grace. Slap me on that fucking wrist. You are so right. You are so fucking right.
But I definitely agree with everything you're saying about, you know, being less precious than everything. And I think if anything, it's made me more interested now in documents, in like creating documents as opposed to creating fabrications within the DAW, within Pro Tools and stuff. In absence of live music, if you don't have actual live recordings, I feel like then we just have nothing, you know? And in wanting to create documents, that I think creates the challenge then to like be practiced and to make sure you're still devoting yourself to your craft.
Right on.
I think for me, I've been working the same, but there's just a bigger scale of urgency now. Just knowing that a lot of people rely on you to some extent to provide them an escapism and a high. That's really the only thing. I'm just constantly like, I really like got to keep going and like just keep providing art and like myself and keep putting myself out there. There's just like a bigger urgency within that. That's probably the only thing, but I've been the same with my music. It's just honestly all over the place. So
right on.
Think about it. I love that.
Yeah, I'm curious, Laura. What's your favorite venue? Like, which venue do you miss either playing or going to see shows at?
The 40 Watt in Athens, Georgia, I think is my favorite venue in the country, at least. And I miss Athens, Georgia in general, and just being there, like waking up there. There's a restaurant around the corner called The Grit that has this thing called the Golden Bowl. It's just rice and tofu, and it's delicious. And the 40 Watt's my favorite venue. I miss it dearly.
Right on, right on. Kenny, what's your favorite venue?
I'm trying to think. It's been so long. I can't even like remember at the moment. It sucks because there is one that I absolutely love, but I can't even like think right now.
What about going to shows? Like a place you like to go to?
I'm honestly sorry. I'm like blacked out right now.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yungblud.
Bro, I proper wanted to play the Avalon in Chicago. We were supposed to, but then we didn't. It's like it got, like, you know what I mean? It got pushed, but everything, man. Like I couldn't wait to go back to Australia. I couldn't wait to play Sydney. I couldn't wait to play. We're supposed to play potentially the Shrine in Los Angeles. I was like buzzing to play that, but I don't know, man. I was supposed to play Alexandra Palace in the UK as well. I was like, fuck. But you know, it's all right. I'm just counting down the days till we can, and I don't know. The thing for me is just that hope of I know how crazy it's gonna be when we get back. And do you know what I mean? If you're listening to this out there as well, I'm just like, I cannot wait just to be in a room of live music. I just can't wait. Like, you think the energy was good back then? Think about a year off. Think about it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, isn't it crazy? It's like we are in a moment in time that is gonna be like, it's gonna be history when music gets back. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be absolutely balmy. 10 times energy, 10 times the emotion, 10 times the fucking passion. I just can't wait. Like, and I know it's like kind of feels like a million miles off right now, but that hope gets me through every single day. Do you know what I mean? That, like, I just can't fucking wait to get back.
It's gonna be like an overdose, you know, like just the high that we know is gonna be like like something beyond even what we've experienced, you know. As far as venues, for me, I love that Ali Pally, man, Ali Pally. That venue.
Shit, bro.
That, you know, it's funny. I know there's like nicer venues around there, but like I just love, you can feel the history in it. And in the complete opposite sense, there's a small place in Flint, Michigan called the Machine Shop that I love, I used to love playing, and I used to love visiting. And then here in Nashville, there's a place called the Basement East that everyone calls the Beast. And they practically had a pup tent like set up for me just to stay, because I was going to that venue like nearly every day. Just, it didn't matter who was playing. It's just a rock club, super small, and just everybody just goes nuts. And I can't wait to get back to doing that.
So sick. But isn't it crazy? Can you imagine if we all have to just play like 15 to 20 nights at like a 100-cat venue?
I would love that.
I'd love that shit. That'd be crazy. That'd be wild. Just like sweat dripping off the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
Don't you just miss that, bro? Don't you just miss like the heat and like the sweat in the air? I'm mad for it.
Guys, I want to bring in a guest and get his take on this. We got grandson.
Right, Jordan, brother, what's poppin'?
What's up, fam? Hello, friends, old and new. How you doing?
Mad for it, man. How are you?
Dude, thank you to the Music Illuminati for having me on today. I appreciate it. Genuinely, real quick, it's good to see some familiar faces, some ones I don't. Thank you guys for putting out such great music this year, pushing me to go even harder, using your platform. I know that a lot of the conversation today I've been kind of listening in has been focused on what we miss and what's been difficult about this year. And I was wondering if maybe we could end on like a positive note with what is one thing that this year has brought out that you're grateful for, or that like you wouldn't have expected from a year off of touring, whether that's new music or more time with family. Like, I'm curious for you guys, having all spent so much time on the road and given so much to rock music, is there anything that having this year reclaimed for you has given you? Yeah, that's what I got.
Really, meeting artists that, because not everyone is so busy and everyone can like sit down and converse. It's easier to just like talk, and I've just been meeting a lot of artists and getting a community, and I'm like so grateful for that, for all of the connections that I've made. It's been super fire.
I think for me, kind of I just feel like, I keep saying it, but I feel more connected to my fan base than ever. Like, I really do. And I felt weird, and I was really scared about that. And it kind of gave me the time to make the album I wanted to make. You know what I mean? In terms of like conceptually and musically, to be honest. Because once you're on the road, like, it's almost like a fuck it mentality. It's like, yeah, this is amazing and whatever, but you're in 15 different cities every week. But now I could like actually sit down and master it and spend like 4 days on it instead of 2 hours in an airport in fucking Sweden. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, I'm buzzing, and I got to do things that I never thought I'd do. I got to do kind of ideas that would push a boundary in myself and just start things and see how they would respond. You know what I mean? It's like such a different way of thinking now, I think. And I don't ever think things will kind of ever be the same as they were, but that's sick as fuck. You know what I mean? That's like we pushed music to a different place because we had to, and fuck it, man. You can either fight it or you can rock out to it. And you know what I mean? We've all been rocking out to it. So that's sick.
I would say that one thing I'm grateful for is that I've had a storage unit for probably the past 10 or 15 years, and I finally had time to go through it and throw out a bunch of shit that had been accumulating.
Yes!
I've been doing that in a lot of different ways, like metaphorically too, or like literally even just going through and cleaning out an email inbox or shit like that. And in the hopes that when we are able to move forward, like it'll be that much less weight I'm carrying with me, and I can go that much further. This year has given me time to be a parent, and this year has been revealing. You know, it's been revealing in showing you how fragile this all is. It's been revealing to me and showing me the nature of like so many relationships I have, and it's been revealing in ways that are not always necessarily good, but nonetheless, all of that has been greatly centering.
That's awesome, Laura. I feel the same way. I feel like I've been finding this balance in my life and realizing, you know, who, like we were saying before, who I am without all of the things that used to take up 90% of my life. And I wouldn't have had the time to do that before. Like we were talking about before, I've been going to therapy, and I've been handling high pressure situations where normally I would approach it with this anxiety and kind of, you know, worrying about things that haven't happened yet. And I've been learning a lot about how to handle that better. And I think that if I had been, you know, like I said, 250 dates out on the road, I would have just tucked that away and like, I'll deal with it later. But I'm not doing that. I'm taking control of my life and who I am right now. And I really, you know, in the beginning of all this, like we were saying before, like I think I went through about, you know, a month of, oh no, what am I going to do? And then just kind of decided like, look, I'm going to use this as a gift. Also in other ways, I know like there's just been so many opportunities, and I've learned so much about, you know, just outside of music and outside of my band, who am I? But also with my relationships to people, I feel so much empathy and forgiveness toward people that I really didn't like, you know, before, or maybe I wasn't talking to. I've like begun just this process of healing with a lot of that too. And also in the flip side, really realized who my desert island friends are, you know, and the people that like, if I were to be on a desert island and these 5 people were on, we would just have the best time. And then in addition to that, as far as friends and relationship goes, I've met so many people, like all of you guys included, like, you know, I feel like we're going to come out on the other side of this as just like bosom buddies and want to do shows and tour together.
Listen, when we see each other at festivals, we're all going to have a lager now, aren't we? Do you know what I mean?
Or 4, you know.
Sorry. Do you know you said desert island? Favorite desert island album right now? Let's go, everyone.
Wildflowers, Tom Petty, because you can't go wrong with that.
Absolute banger. My Disintegration by The Cure. Kenny.
That's a great one. I got to listen to that today.
Probably Lily of the Valley by the Funeral Suits.
Ronnie?
Oh man, I'm going with Nevermind, Battle of Los Angeles, Marshall Mathers LP. That's 3.
You took 3. Fuck.
Possible question.
Well, I think the key to the desert island question is that you have to go for a double LP to just have that much more music with you. So I'm going to go for London Calling.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. You won that game. Shit.
Yeah, I think that jumping back to the question, I think that so many musicians that I get to spend my time with, like so many of us are manifestors in some way. Like I've always felt within me exists the capacity to create whatever reality for myself. Any of us being here is so improbable, and we've had to navigate so many obstacles and setbacks. For me to get there, I've had to convince myself that within me exists the capacity to get where I'm going. And while that mentality is so helpful in motivating yourself and in pushing yourself harder to outwork people and to go get it, you know, harder than people, when you get hit with these, you know, immovable objects of helplessness or uncertainty, where there's this moment in time that is so profoundly like out of our fucking control, all we're doing is just trying to tread water and just wait. You know, even with quarantine, it was like if somebody told us, you have 6 months here, you know, go as hard as you can. You're like, okay, great. I'm going to come out of here with 5 albums and this and that. But it's the perpetuity of it that I think is so hard and so revealing in some ways. And so I think that if anything, it's taught me to just slow down and to, you know, try and appreciate how much of this really is out of our control. Set your goals internally to just make the best art you can. Be the best friend and partner, and you know that you can, and let the things that are out of your control just like remain.
Yeah,
that's all I got to say on that. I think I got a jet now. Thank you for this great conversation. Great to see you guys again and talk really soon.
It was great meeting. Thanks so much for joining us, bro. Really appreciate it. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap up. We've probably gone on pretty long, so I want to thank you all for your time because. What can I say? We like to talk.
Yeah.
We like to rock, but we like to.
It's like, it's so funny, isn't it? It's like what now we're all like lonely old men at the grocery store who lost their missus. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Just talking.
Are you following me?
Yeah, bro. It's legit. Like it's legit. Now bollocks. I was talking about all of us. We're all the man asking about the carrots.
That's great. So, guys, lastly, I'm just gonna introduce. We've got a video from Daryl Friedman, who's our Chief Advocacy Officer, and real quick, just you know, I don't know if you guys how involved you are in that in advocacy, but you know, Save Our Stages is a really important cause right now, and that's a lot of what we're all here, you know, to kind of promote as well as you know, because things are just as they're crazier than they've ever been as far as this goes. So I just real quick I'd like to hear some words from Daryl, and then we can close out soon after that. So thank you guys so much for hanging with me. I really do appreciate it. It's been awesome meeting all of you and getting to talk to you a little bit, for real. So thank you. And here is Daryl.
Hi everyone, it's Daryl Friedman coming to you from the Recording Academy in Washington, D.C. Thanks for tuning in to today's important session. There's no way to overstate how hard this year has been for music people, and I know it's particularly hard in the touring music community, where so many artists and fans are missing the energy that can only happen when an artist and audience are together in a room live. I know you've got a great panel today to offer suggestions on getting through this. I just want to add one more way you can help yourselves and your fellow artists, songwriters, and producers by making your voice heard in Washington. When thousands of Academy members raised their voices to ask Congress for help, the CARES Act was passed, which included important and historic aid for music professionals. Now we need more help, incentives to keep studios running, and to keep venues surviving until they can reopen. So many in the music world have been there to help us throughout the years to move legislation in Washington. Now it's your turn. Take a minute today to visit grammy.com/advocacy/act and let Congress know the music community needs more help. And of course, if you haven't already done so, be sure to vote in the upcoming elections. Until I see you again in person at one of my favorite DC venues, please stay safe, keep healthy, and keep making music however you can. I know with your advocacy, help is on the way. And now let's hear from some of our touring members who are excited to get back on the road and back to their favorite venues.
Hola, Cristina.
Hola, Andres. Hi, we are 123 Andres, based in Northern Virginia outside of Washington, D.C.
Well, this year we were very excited to perform at the Lincoln Center in New York City.
It didn't happen, but when we get back to touring, we're excited to make our debut at the Lincoln Center.
Hi, I'm Alex Harris from Tampa, Florida, and I can't wait to play at our local Palladium Theater just across the bridge in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Hi, I'm Tracy Trouble from Chicago. I'm in the band Awful, and the venue that I cannot wait to play at again is the Empty Bottle.
The venues that I'm most excited to get back to on the road are those beautifully restored Gilded Age theaters.
Hi, I'm Elson Torres, singer-songwriter performer based out of Miami, and the venue that I'm most looking forward to reopening is Bar Nancy, which is in the heart of Miami, Calle Ocho, 8th Street.
We cannot wait to get back out and play our favorite venues all over the country and all over the world, and they are house concerts where we get to play right up close, intimate, right in front of you, and those are our favorite venues.
Hey guys, this is JB from the band August Burns Red. The venue that I am most looking forward to getting back to and playing again is the Fillmore in Philadelphia. It's close to home, it's a beautiful theater, and every time we've ever played there, the crowds have been insane. It's just been so much fun. So really looking forward to playing the Fillmore in Philly again. And the thing I miss the most about being on the road is touring with my guys, with all the band guys, the crew. They're like my family away from home. And I've missed them a lot since being at home, since COVID has hit. So I look forward to getting back out there and spending time with my friends, and of course connecting with fans, playing shows, and just having that outlet again. We miss it dearly. So hope everyone's staying safe. See ya.
I'm mostly looking forward to getting back to the Zappos Theater in Las Vegas. It's where we've had our residencies with both of those artists, and it's become kind of a home away from home, and it really doesn't feel quite right not having those gigs in the calendar.
Hey, I'm Chris Angeles, based out of LA, and I can't wait to get back to watching and performing shows at the Hotel Cafe.
Hello everybody, I am Beth Cohen from the band Boston, and I can't wait to get back to the Hard Rock Live right here in South Florida. I hope it's soon.
Hey, this is Doug Emery from Miami, and the venue that I miss playing is right here in town, the Fillmore on Miami Beach.
If I could go anywhere right now, I wish I could go to Tokyo. This was the first year we had just about every show sold out. And for a smaller band like ourselves, it's a pretty big deal. So I'm trying to do the best I can while being socially responsible.
Hi everybody, I'm Mireya Ramos de Flor de Toloache. Greetings all the way from New Zealand. But I'm actually from New York City. I miss New York so much. I miss touring. I miss performing with my band of sisters of Flor de Toloache, but I cannot wait to go back to New York and perform and be with my friends and perform in front of my home crowd and connect with my community at one of New York City's best venues, one of my favorite, Joe's Pub.
Hey, we're Shade, and the venue that we are most excited to return to is definitely the 930 Club, one of the best venues of all time. Plus, I met these guys there many years ago.
Yes, we were all in high school. It was the first place we met, and the 930 Club is right in our hometown, Washington, D.C., so it's very special to us.
Yeah, and we have always wanted to headline there, and we had the privilege of headlining there not too long ago. We sold out the show, had all our friends and family there. It was a magical night, and we just can't wait to go back.
So hopefully we can come back soon.
The venue I'm most excited to return to is Blue Note in Tokyo, Japan. We were supposed to be there in March, right before quarantine locked down everything. Excited to get back there. It'll be my first time in Japan. So Blue Note in Tokyo, we'll see you soon.
I think for me, it would be the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville. That's where we are based out of, and we spent a lot of years of our career working towards the goal of playing at the Ryman. And it's been a long time since we played there, and now it feels like even longer. So that's my number one venue that I'm most excited to get back to.
Hey everyone, it's Kaina. I'm based in Chicago, so some of the venues I'm looking forward to playing locally when they open up are Sleeping Village. When I get to hit the road, I would love to play Meow Wolf in Santa Fe.
Hey everyone, this is Vic from Reina. I am most excited to return to Cactus Club. That was where we played our first show ever as a band. So I look forward to returning after COVID and seeing everyone's faces. I hope that everyone's staying safe and healthy. Peace out.
Hey Rock fam, this is Ms. Mechanism from the band Mechanism out of Orlando, Florida. Can't wait to get back on the road playing live shows, connecting with our metal tribe. Seriously looking forward to playing some of our favorite venues around the world, including Urban Guild in Kyoto, Japan, Machine Shop in Flint, Michigan, Breeding Festival in Germany, of course our hometown venues, Will's Pub, the Plaza, and the first place we're going to go is the Haven Lounge in Winter Park, because that is the heart and soul of the rock and metal community for Central Florida. See you in the mosh pit.
Yeah!
Awesome.
So sick, man.
That's great. So, guys, we're done. I just want to, again, thank you all so much. It really is a pleasure. I'm a big fan. Yungblud, Kenny, you guys are doing awesome things, and rock right now. And I'm like genuinely a fan. So I wish you guys all the best in the future. And I really hope that this isn't the last time we get to talk. Laura Jane, been a fan for a long time. Lzzy, you're fucking badass. And I love everything you do. So I'm really looking forward to all of what you guys are up to, because whatever you're doing now, I know we'll be hearing about it soon. And, I just, again, want to thank you for your time. You guys have been great. And that's that. If you guys have any closing remarks for anybody out there, for the fans or your families out there.
Yeah, mad for it. Look after each other. Be safe. Keep your heads up. Let's go.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I agree. We're in this together. You're not alone. We're all, like we were saying before, this is, even the playing field, and now more than ever it's so important for all of us to remember that we are all there for each other. Reach out, stay connected, listen to loud music. And for everybody here on this panel, please give yourselves a huge hug from me. And I can't wait to do it in person.
Oh yeah. Thanks for having us on. Really.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Anybody else before we go?
Let's say just stay alive.
Hell
yeah. Just stay positive, guys. I really do think that, everything in life, it's cycles, it's waves. So no matter how dark it seems now, I really think on the other side of this, we're all going to be all right. And I know that we're all going to do everything we can. In closing, I want to thank the Recording Academy for allowing us to have this little conversation. And anybody out there watching, if you or anybody needs any help at all, please go to MusiCares.org. Thanks.